take a second and think about whatever is most bothering you. Whatever's taking up the most mental space in your life right now. It might be stress, sure, it might be anxiety, it might be depression, but it's on your mind the most. The one thing that if it was out of mind, you would be more cleared up by that than anything else escaping your mind. Think about it. And now I'd like to encourage you with this question. What have you tried so far to get rid of it? Because you've probably tried. That's my assumption. You've probably thought, how can I handle this problem? Maybe you've thought, I'm just not going to think about it. Maybe you've thought, I'm going to just hope it goes away on its own. Maybe you thought, I just need the money to get rid of this, or I need someone to help me, or I need distance and time, and I need whatever it is, and it'll go away. And by definition, that hasn't worked, because I asked you to think of what's on your mind, and you had your answer, and you would say that you've tried to get rid of it, and it hasn't worked. So then the question is why? Why hasn't your method worked? And I'm going to offer this. Every excuse that I just gave for, I wish I could handle it this way, probably could be helpful. But the thing that they all have in common is they haven't happened yet. And the problem is still here. So what do we do about that? And I think a lot of the time, that question's easier than we think it is. Now, let me be clear. There are things that are beyond difficult to figure out. It's beyond difficult to figure out if you're creating a hiding place in your home for Jews during the Holocaust, and you're in Holland trying to figure out a way to safely keep a newborn in a hiding place where if they cried and it got discovered, you would die as well as the 5 other people that were hiding in there. Do you kick the mom and the baby out and say good luck, or do you pray and hope for the best? I'm not going to pretend and say, oh, the answer's simpler than you think. I'm just wanting to create a framework for a lot of our everyday struggles. And that framework is this question. If you were the only one coming to save you, how would you handle this problem? And how would you do it in a way that doesn't violate a single moral rule in your life? There is an answer. For instance, I want to offer an example that has nuance, because a lot of simple, so to speak, answers have nuance that during application we go, oh, I'm stuck. I don't know how to approach it. Here's one. Let's say my answer was, well, and this is not true for me, but I know people who it's true for. I haven't paid taxes in 3 years, and I'm afraid of what's going to happen. Great. What solution are you hoping for? I'm hoping to just never have to deal with it. Okay. Or a lump sum of money, maybe I'll make more money, and maybe I can find a way to create more expenses when I backlog my taxes, and I don't know. And if we just say, calm down, no one's going to come fix this for you. How do you move forward without breaking a moral law? What's probably going to happen is you'll say, I need to pay the taxes. What are you afraid of? Well, the money loss. I'm afraid of losing the money. Maybe you'll say, I'm afraid of how how the government will respond. Will I go to jail? Will I have to pay extra for this? And the question that I would offer is, we're aiming to not break a moral law, so does it matter? Because the issue is you started from a place of problem, and there's consequences for problems, and there's often grace for them as well. So how might that look? You gotta hire a CPA, and you gotta file your taxes, and beg them for the easiest route forward. And then they'll probably give you a payment plan if you're the average person. And then you gotta pay it. Well, now what? You gotta pay it. Do I have to work more? Maybe. Do I have to cut back? Maybe. I don't know how to do that. Well, now you got your new problem. And yeah, you do. You work more and you do less things that you like. And this is, I think, why it's important that people have a moral foundation for their existence, not a legal or a relative moralist perspective. Because one makes you the god of all your decisions, and you change. Therefore, morals change. And that's actually not as grounding as people think. Because most people think that they assume that it'll stay the same, but I've seen people make wildly different shifts. So if you are the god of your morals, then you will change them over time. And I think maybe just the lucky ones keep them mostly the same. And laws change over time. Different countries and areas have different laws. So what's the real moral grounding that you're working from? Identify that and move forward. You're right, you might have to reconcile and atone for mistakes. Good. Get it done. Because it'll eat your soul away. So just ask yourself what needs done. Pay attention to what keeps coming back. And I'm going to be very clear. I asked that you start with the thing that's most on your mind. And as you start doing that, I would say, now what's on your mind? This is a process. And I say that and can tell you I have things on my mind still. And it's not easy to keep working through them. And there's some that I lean more towards avoiding than I want to. And it doesn't help me to do that. So, yeah. Just the problem you're facing is accessible. You can approach it. And you can attack it. It's doable. It's allowed. So go for it. Just start. Ask yourself the question, what would it look like if I addressed every problem that I have? And you might say it's impossible for me to get through all of them. So I would say, is your life better for trying or for just not trying? And on top of all that, I would encourage, do it with people. Do it with trusted people. Do it with healthy relationships. Do it with joy. Because there's very few things greater in life than doing what's right and doing it with a joyful spirit. So that doesn't mean fun. That doesn't mean excitement. It means I have the privilege to do what's right. And I can't imagine a life where I say no to that. So, yeah. I'll leave it there. So take that for what it is. Be encouraged. There is freedom from the struggle that you're sitting with. Be willing to access the freedom, to access it, and take it in, knowing that it might come through pain. But it'll be good. So be encouraged. Happy Monday and see you next week.